Back in December 2020, FKA Twigs filed a lawsuit that made TMZ drop their coffee. She accused Shia LaBeouf, her former partner and Hollywood's favorite tortured method actor, of relentless emotional abuse, sexual battery, and assault during their 2018 to 2019 relationship. The lawsuit was filed in Los Angeles Superior Court and included graphic allegations of physical violence, manipulation, and knowingly giving her an STD. Yeah, not exactly couples therapy material. Twigs wasn't just asking for justice for herself. She said she hoped this would help other survivors come forward, especially those who felt silenced by power dynamics. Because when the guy who played a Disney Channel clown turns into a real-life villain, people pay attention. But the red flags weren't just metaphorical, they came with seatbelts. Here's what went down on the road trip from hell. One of the most harrowing allegations, that infamous Valentine's Day weekend trip in 2019, where Shia reportedly drove recklessly through the desert. No joke, threatening to crash the car unless Twigs proved her love. This wasn't some edgy indie romance. This was emotional terrorism with leather seats. Later that night, at a gas station, she claimed he physically assaulted her, threw her against the car, and screamed in public. And she said he would count the number of kisses per day and punish her if she didn't show enough affection. Basically, imagine dating a guy who thinks a relationship is a hostage situation with vibes. Now you'd think maybe this would lead to accountability. But no, Shia had his own idea of damage control, and it came with a sprinkle of denial. When the allegations hit, Shia didn't exactly go silent. He went ambiguously apologetic, a classic celebrity move. In a statement to the New York Times, he said he was not in a position to tell anyone how my behavior made them feel, but also that many of these allegations are not true. So, we're doing the sorry if you were offended routine now. He later added he was a sober member of a 12-step program, suffering from PTSD and alcoholism, and was committed to healing. Translation, I'm working on myself. Please don't cancel me until the next movie drops. But Twigs wasn't interested in a PR detox. She wanted real consequences, not a media spin cycle. So, how did this legal chess match end up? Hint, it wasn't about money. It was about something way more powerful. After years of court dates, statements, and emotional toll, the case didn't go to trial. Instead, in early 2024, they reached a private settlement, and the details were sealed tighter than a Marvel script. But sources close to the case revealed something surprising. FKA Twigs wasn't looking for a payout. She wanted Shia to undergo meaningful treatment, publicly acknowledge the harm he caused, and work toward accountability. She said in interviews that the lawsuit was never about revenge. It was about preventing it from happening to someone else. She pulled off what most people only dream of, turning trauma into structural change. No bag chasing, just truth-telling, but this legal plot twist came with collateral damage. And no, we're not talking about emotional baggage. Let's talk about Shia's career wipeout. Let's rewind a bit. Pre-lawsuit, Shia was the comeback king. After his raw performance in Honey Boy, which he wrote and starred in based on his own life, the guy had Oscar whispers floating around. Directors like Olivia Wilde and Abel Ferrara were booking him. But once the allegations hit the headlines, agencies dropped him, films recast him, and his public image nosedived faster than a Rotten Tomatoes score for a Netflix rom-com. Netflix quietly removed his name from their awards consideration list. And while other scandal-plagued celebs tried to hide, Shia basically went full radio silent, except for a few cryptic emails and rehab reports. Turns out Hollywood's tolerance for difficult genius only goes so far. But Twigs didn't just cancel a man. She helped reboot an entire conversation. Let's talk cultural impact. This lawsuit helped push the conversation about coercive control, gaslighting, and emotional abuse into the mainstream. For a long time, these terms were shrugged off. It's not that bad. It's just intense love. He's just passionate. No, Twigs made it clear, abuse doesn't need bruises to be real. She described being isolated from her friends, constantly manipulated, and made to feel like she was walking on emotional eggshells. And the media, for once, took it seriously. Survivors rallied behind her. Experts pointed to her case as a model for how emotional abuse is weaponized. She wasn't just a pop star anymore. She was a symbol of resistance and reform. But while the world listened, the internet did what it does best, spiral into chaos. Once the allegations dropped, Twitter became Judge Judy with ring lights. Some fans, particularly from Shia's Transformers and Nymphomaniac days, clung to the separate the art from the artist argument. Others straight up refused to believe her until more exes, including singer Sia, spoke up. Sia said Shia conned her into an adulterous relationship, calling him a pathological liar. Suddenly, it wasn't just one woman's word. It was a pattern. Twigs faced online harassment, trolling, and armchair lawyers. But she kept her cool and stuck to the facts. She didn't need to clap back. The truth did that for her. And then came Olivia Wilde and a leaked email that added even more fuel to the fire. Wilde originally said she fired Shia from Don't Worry Darling to protect Florence Pugh and foster a safe environment. But then, plot twist, Shia sent Variety a video and emails allegedly showing Wilde asking him to stay. She called Florence Miss Flo and seemed to beg him to make it work. The internet went full popcorn mode. Twigs subtly reminded the public abuse isn't always obvious, and survivors shouldn't have to validate their pain to strangers. She said, "When I look at what I went through, I think now the most important thing for me is that I've used my experience to help others." Translation: wild drama aside, this was never about clout. It was about courage. And speaking of courage, let's talk about Twigs' next act, the glow-up. While Shia disappeared into rehab, Twigs was out here dropping art like nothing could dim her light. She released her critically acclaimed mixtape Capri Songs, worked with artists like The Weeknd, and performed globally. She also launched charity initiatives for domestic abuse survivors, using her platform to amplify unheard voices. Oh, and did we mention she became a fashion icon in the process? She proved that you can be a healing goddess and a boundary-setting bad boy narns at the same time. Every red carpet became a statement. Every interview, a mic drop. Twigs said, "Healing isn't linear, but surviving, that's a flex." So what's the big takeaway here? What does this mean for us, the popcorn-munching public? It's easy to treat celebrity scandals like soap operas, but this one hit differently, because it wasn't just about a famous couple, it was about power, silence, and survival. Twigs showed that telling your story, even when it shakes the room, can spark real change. She redefined what it means to win, not by canceling someone, but by refusing to be erased. And as for Shia, time will tell if redemption means more than just hiding behind screenplays and rehab wristbands. But one thing's for sure, this case changed the conversation, and we'd better keep it going. So, what do you think? Can Hollywood ever truly hold its stars accountable? Or is this just another headline in the PR machine? Drop your thoughts in the comments. And if this breakdown had you clutching your pearls, smashing that like button is the least you can do. Subscribe for more tea, receipts, and savage storytelling every week. And remember, the drama may be temporary, but screenshots, forever.